stop scrolling? What if the struggle you've been fighting is not the end of your story, but the beginning of God's greatest work in your life? Think about it. How many nights have you stayed awake worrying? How many times have you questioned your purpose? How many times have you wondered if God still sees your pain? You smile in public, but deep inside you're tired of waiting, tired of disappointment, tired of carrying battles nobody understands. And yet, something brought you here today. Not coincidence, not luck, God. Because this message is for the person who feels forgotten, stuck, and uncertain about what comes next. God wants you to know that your struggle has purpose, your waiting has meaning, and your breakthrough may be closer than you think. Don't let fear make you quit before the miracle. Don't let doubt convince you that God is finished with your story. This is your moment to trust Him like never before. God has not forgotten you. Sometimes those words are exactly what a weary heart needs to hear. There are seasons when life becomes so heavy that it feels as if heaven has gone silent. You pray, you wait, you hope, and yet nothing seems to change. The doors remain closed. The answers do not come. The struggle continues. In those moments, it is easy to wonder if God still sees you. But the truth is that God's silence is not His absence. Just because you cannot see His hand moving does not mean He has stopped working. Some of the greatest things God does happen beneath the surface, beyond what human eyes can recognize. While you are focused on what has not happened, God is preparing what needs to happen. Many people measure God's love by their circumstances. When life goes well, they feel blessed. When life becomes difficult, they feel forgotten. Yet God's faithfulness is not determined by your current situation. His presence remains constant through every victory and every storm. Think about the challenges you have already survived. There were moments you thought would break you, but somehow you made it through. There were days when you felt weak, yet strength appeared when you needed it most. That strength was not accidental. God was carrying you even when you did not realize it. Today, choose to stop interpreting delays as rejection. Keep showing up, keep praying, keep trusting. Every act of faith, every step of obedience, and every moment of perseverance matters. God sees the effort nobody else notices. He sees the tears nobody else understands. This is your divine moment. Not because everything around you is perfect, but because God often does His greatest work in imperfect circumstances. Many people spend years waiting for the perfect opportunity before they move forward. Meanwhile, God is calling them to act in faith right where they are. Your divine moment is not simply about receiving a blessing. It is about becoming the person God created you to be. It is the moment when fear loses its control. It is the moment when faith becomes stronger than hesitation. Never underestimate the power of a single decision. One decision to trust God can change the direction of an entire life. One decision to keep going can open doors that seemed impossible. One decision to release bitterness can create room for healing and peace. The reality is that courage rarely arrives before action. Confidence grows as you walk, not while you remain standing still. God does not ask you to know every detail of the journey. He asks you to trust Him with the next step. This moment is an opportunity to stop looking backward at past disappointments and start looking forward with renewed hope. The mistakes of yesterday do not have to define tomorrow. God specializes in bringing new life to places that seem exhausted and defeated. Faith over fear. Fear has a way of making problems appear larger than they really are. It whispers worst-case scenarios. It convinces you to focus on everything that could go wrong instead of everything God can make right. Fear often disguises itself as caution. It tells you to stay comfortable and avoid taking risks. Yet many of the blessings God has prepared require you to step beyond what feels safe. Growth rarely happens inside the boundaries of comfort. Faith does not mean you never feel afraid. Faith means you trust God enough to move forward despite the fear. When uncertainty surrounds you, remember what God has already brought you through. The same God who carried you through previous battles has not changed. His power has not weakened. His promises have not expired. Every day presents a choice. You can allow fear to keep your focus on limitations, or you can allow faith to keep your eyes on God's possibilities. Feed your spirit with prayer, gratitude, and trust. The more you focus on God's faithfulness, the less control fear will have over your heart. Trust God's timing. Few things test faith more than waiting. Most people are willing to trust God as long as the answer comes quickly. The real challenge begins when days turn into months and months turn into years. Waiting exposes our desire for control. We want to know when things will happen and what the outcome will be. Yet God's perspective reaches far beyond what we can currently see. What feels like a delay may actually be protection. What feels like a closed door may be God preventing you from settling for less than His best. Trusting God's timing requires patience, but it also requires action. Waiting on God does not mean becoming passive. It means continuing to grow, serve, and remain faithful while the process unfolds. Many people become discouraged because they compare their journey to someone else's. God is not writing the same story for everyone. Your path is unique, and your season is unique. The waiting season develops strength, wisdom, and dependence on God in ways that immediate success never could. Your breakthrough is near. The season of struggle will not last forever. God is working behind the scenes in ways you cannot yet see. Release the bitterness, regret, and disappointment that have been weighing down your spirit. Freedom begins when you place your pain into His hands. Your strength is not limited by your weakness. When you feel exhausted or broken, God's power becomes your source of endurance. He provides courage for today and strength for every battle you face. God did not create you to live in fear or hide your gifts. Walk forward with confidence, knowing He has equipped you for your purpose. Stop shrinking back and step into the assignment He placed on your life. As you reflect on everything today, remember this: the greatest battle was never the obstacle in front of you. The greatest battle has always been deciding whether you will trust God when you cannot see what He is doing. God has not forgotten you. Your waiting has purpose. Your pain has not been wasted. Your calling is still alive. While fear tells you to retreat, faith calls you forward. While doubt focuses on limitations, God focuses on possibilities. The question is no longer whether God is able. The question is whether you are willing to trust Him enough to take the next step. Release what is holding you back. Let go of what God never asked you to carry. Choose faith over fear. Choose obedience over hesitation. Choose hope over despair. Because the person God is calling you to become is waiting on the other side of your surrender. And this moment right now could be the moment everything begins to change.